And how's it going, everybody? Hope you're all fantastic. We're gonna do a live stream, another live stream painting session. So I'm getting set up here, sitting right up close up on the camera. What's going on, everybody? Um, this is my painting hair because it helps keep the tear out of my face when I'm painting. Which, throughout the day it's not too annoying because I could just move it out of my face, but when I'm live streaming and painting at the same time, it's kind of annoying because I don't want to get paint in my hair. So I have to go through some special extra steps to do so. And let's go. Setting up my TikTok right now. And let's go ahead right here. Gonna start in 1 month. What's it? Karen Cedillo, welcome. How are you doing today? Happy Friday. It is Friday. Cat, it's Friday, right? All right. Happy Friday. You want to see a cat? There's a cat. Who likes cats? Well, that's cat. And then that's a cat. Fern. Say hello, Fern. All right. So there's a cat. I guess for my TikTok stream doesn't get to see cats. But yes, Karen, you were here just yesterday. Emmy, what's going on? Emmy, how are you? Everyone, that's Fern right here. Fern, yes. If I walk up to her, she'll run away because that's just how she is. But, well, that's not just how she is. That's how she is with everybody except Kathleen here, her rescuer. I have to coax her with treats. I have to coax her with lots and lots and lots of treats. She will eat bread out of my hands. Here, watch this. You want to watch me give a treat to my cat? Here we go. Fern, come here. You want a bread treat? You want a bread treat? Look at her eat. Look how cute she is when she eats. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So adorable. Here. Here's a bread treat. Huh? You want any more bread? There you go. Eat that bread. Eat that bread. Uh-huh. Get that bread. Just gotta bite it off. Be vicious, like a tiger. Be like a wild beast. She's so gentle. You would think that a predator would be would attack the bread like a predator, but she's too nice. Here, that's for you. All right. I got this great bread from a Korean market. Yeah, the tortoise is kind of cute. So, anyway, I hope y'all got to see that. That's like the perfect spot. So, anyways, today I'm painting without the door open. So hopefully these. Oh right! Oh my god. Hopefully the smell. It shouldn't get too bad. Really, it's just a matter of opening all the supplies and then bring it out. I'm gonna have the biggest troll hair on the planet. Huh? Paper clip with the back? No, it's not a clip. It's the little twist tie. Where is it? I said it was behind you. It's not. So then you must have grabbed it. I would have said it right here.
Yeah, I know.
How do you know?
I heard you say that.
Oh, Fern must have grabbed it. Okay. Blame the cat. So anyway, let's see. How Emmy, Alex, Riley, what's going on? Riley, Rye, Karen, thanks so much. Alex Appel. I can't give anybody passes on anything except maybe a pass to view my art. So, anything you say can and will be held against you. Alex. Yes, anything you say can and will be held against you. Thanks, Emmy. Appreciate you. Yeah, I guess I should pull this. Let's see. Let's pop this out, huh? Like a little. This is the haircut that they give the babies when they start growing their hair out. What's going on TikTok? How's everybody doing? We got Loser has liked my live. Loser, thank you because you made me feel like a winner. And I'm opening up my supplies, so I gotta step away for a moment. But how's everybody's 4th of July? I know it's just the weekend. I know it's not quite the weekend yet, it's still Friday, but hope you all do absolutely have an absolute. It's 95 degrees here in Los Angeles, which is almost like 40 Celsius, like 38, 39 Celsius. Alex Appel. Yes. The Trollmeister here. Who wants to ban Alex Appel? I'll give it to Emmy. I'll let you be a moderator for a moment.
Alex Appel, dude.
All right. Emmy, you're a standard moderator for now. If you feel the need to ban Alex, you can feel free to. By the way, Karen, Emmy's been here for a while. She's been here for quite a while, so you don't necessarily have to do it right now. But if he causes a nuisance in the future. So weirdos are okay. Like, I don't mind weirdos, people who are like weird in some way. All artists, I think, are somehow weird in their own unique way. But creepos, like why anyone would just sit in a live stream and just be creepy. Like, the thing is, like, people in real life would never do that. It's only something that's on the internet. Like, no one would just sit in like the middle of a coffee shop and just start like trolling people. So just weird. Internet's a funny place. But we're gonna improve upon this painting. Yeah, I can't promise that it's like gonna be a permanent thing, Emmy, but thank you for taking care of that. Appreciate you, Emmy. Tortoise got scared by the fire. Oh, your tortoise did get scared by the fireworks, for real. All right, so let's get started on this painting. So much to improve here. I'm going to start with this leg. And I've decided that I'm going to focus on reds and blues. And we're going to go with the red here. So let me go with some of the mid colors. I'm going to go with like a mid-tone here. And we're going to start with that as we blend in some of our areas here. And that's going to come right into here as we paint this space and start to create like a transition from the dark area to the lighter spaces here. And we're painting over David's name. David has been here. It's Riley ONG. What am I doing? People are just weird, sad. Yeah. Weird, creepy, like sad. I don't know. But here's at the same time, I think it's also important to, like, not tolerate hate. Of course, don't tolerate hate and, like, things like that. But at some level, I think some of the lighter trolling and things like that, it's like a cry for help, cry for attention, mental health. So at some level, there needs to be some discussion on it at least, some way to help people who feel the need to do that. So I don't know. I mean, it's funny because Alex Appel's been here a lot of times, and for whatever reason, he just decided to be to be all weird and creepy. I don't know. So you never know when something's happening to people in their everyday life. So. Anyway, although for the sake and the health of the room, yeah, I mean, for the sake of the room, for the sake of this live stream, I think it's important that to help to manage the experience of everybody, which means if there's somebody disrupting the positive vibes, I think it's important to get rid of them. But from a personal perspective, I think it's sometimes important to like listen to people. But fortunately, Alex wasn't really talking. He was just being a troll. So as someone who's been through therapy myself, I feel it is a very important subject, and sometimes it's important to be understanding of why people would be such trolling stuff. So anyway, thanks, Craig. Yes, I totally agree with that. Don't let negative vibes in, especially when there's groups like this. Heather, welcome. Thanks for all the likes. Really appreciate you. Thank you for spending the energy to continue tapping my TikTok live stream. I am totally understanding of how tiring that is for the thumbs, but just the simple exercise. I mean, you're burning calories. Calories require food and food and energy requires money. So you're tapping this live stream is as valuable as cash, in some ways. So thank you, thank you, Heather. And I got skills. Keep up the great work, Assad. MJ, welcome. So Emmy, how's it going? I know you haven't been here in a little bit. I think you've changed your profile picture. I can't really see it from here, but you changed your profile picture quite a bit. And for this section right here, I'm working on building a mid color, a color that's between this like dark red and this like whiter pink that I have going on. I've decided that I'm going to focus the majority of this painting on a certain scale of like a redness, on a scale of red. And we're going to use this for the majority of our lighter shadows here. And the majority of our shadows are going to be built up using this like shade of pink that we have going on here. We're just going to leave this space right here and then paint this in down right here. So, is that a palm tree on my head? Is that a palm tree on my head? Yes, this is my headbanging tip. Yes, Heather has shared. Thank you so much, Heather. I really appreciate you taking the energy. Like, most people think the tap of a button and a like is just a like, but I see it as more than that. I see it as you sharing great energy. Most people are not. I feel like we can all be more appreciative of the energy that it takes to actually just even give a like. Most of us kind of shrug it off because people want like millions of likes or like hundreds of thousands of likes, but every like takes energy, and I am totally appreciative of whether. I mean, especially appreciative because you spent the time to give all the energy to give many likes. So thank you, and for those of you chilling in my YouTube, thanks so much. Love the sunflowers painting in the back. Yeah, this is a funny painting because when you see it from far, it looks quite different from when you see it up close because there's a lot of little marks on it. But here we go. What I'm working on right now is I'm just working on building some of the features into this leg, the shadow and the roundness. And what makes me sad is I really like this brush, but it's gotten a little stiff. So the stiffness is a little bit affecting the effect that I'm getting. I would have liked the softer effect on my brush, but we're going to stick with this because I like this brush so much and it's like the right size. So I'm just going to work on building up with this brush. I'm just going to stick with it. And I think at the end of the day, it's nice to use different brushes and achieve various effects, even if it's not exactly what you wanted. I think it's nice to work with a variety of brushes, and it helps you to achieve different things. So That's what we're working with right now. I think this will help to create a rounder leg. And I'm going to continue to build some of these colors into here. Some of these darker colors and shadows. So how's everyone doing today? We got let's see what everybody says. Either I'm truly creative or those are drawings of your victim's limbs. What do I mean? I look like a 1x1 Lego brick. What even is a 1x1 Lego brick? Huh. Did somebody say one-on-one Lego brick? By the way, welcome back, Eclipse. How's it going? Do I switch brushes to change color? Sometimes. It depends. Like, if I wanted to just, like, lay down some blues here, I might keep this brush, but just clean it. But for the most part, like, I'm not going to change brushes just to change color. I'd rather just clean off the brush. But if I want to change brushes, I will change brushes, if that makes sense, right? Like, I don't change brushes because of color, but I will change a brush because I feel it's time to change the brush. So it's not like a color situation as much as it is a personal choice situation of how I want a specific effect to look. So here we are, we're going to bring this down and then we're going to pop this foot over and we're creating this like darker area for our feet, creating some contrast of the surrounding area of this leg here. You're welcome, Lou. So it was a queso reference. By the way, Eclipse, how's your 4th of July? You seem like someone who celebrates a good 4th of July. Alexa, what is queso?
Queso is a type of cheese sauce or spread that is commonly used as a dip or garnish. It is made by melting cheese together with other ingredients such as chilies, spices, and vegetables. Some varieties of queso may also include meat or seafood. Queso is a popular snack or appetizer in many countries, and there are various types of queso with different flavors and textures.
So I'm still not exactly sure what queso is, but like I know queso's cheese, but I don't know what queso by y'all's definition is. So I need to increase the highlight around this part of the leg right here, just to add the bit of realism. This right here, and then it's going to come around nice and bright. And we're going to go like so. And then pop this down. Let's see, can I check out your last comment, but also the person he's talking about is a bigger streamer and people make fun of his weight? Oh, well, hey, let's see. Thanks, bro. With the Sigma. 4th of July was crazy skibbity toilet riz. All right. Crazy American that you are. Dude, Eclipse, you are a growing man. 3 hamburgers? I only had 2. Fireworks everywhere. You did some fireworks. What was your last comment, Woody? I don't know. I think I read it. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, yeah. Either I'm extremely creative or those are drawings of my victims. I addressed that. I said that I actually read it out loud. Unless you weren't here. I literally read that comment out loud. I know because I remember it. And yeah, so funny comment. Is that what you want me to say? Is a funny comment, Woody? Well, Eclipse, you know what? You're growing into a growing man, dude. You're growing into a growing man. You don't realize it yet, but you know, when I was that age, I was definitely growing. But yeah, put that food down. You're growing, man. Or you're growing, dude. So, above 4th of July. I don't see your other comment, Woody. You might have to say it again. I don't see it. You know, I can't see your comment, bro. So you still. Well, you know what, Eclipse, keep eating, and yeah, keep eating. Don't worry about that. Just keep eating. Down that food. Eat your calcium, down the food, and you will eventually get that height that you're looking for, or whatever. So this is helping to create the form. I might have to use a better brush later to really smooth it out. But for now, this is helping to create that form and shape for everything. And so Eclipse, are your parents tall? Hey, thanks, Lou. Appreciate you. I can put it up for print at some point, but I'm just getting started. You asked if that one drawing has a PPA. Oh, yeah, no, I don't draw PPAs. I might have something. I might put something in my painting that symbolizes what you're asking for. You know, as much as anything else, I don't want to spoil any mysteries of my paintings. But, and I'm not saying whether there is or isn't, but if that's what you see, yo, like, that's what you see, dude. That's cool. That's what you see. That's what you see. Interpret it. Dude, Eclipse, you're definitely going to get tall. So, Woody, whatever you see is what you see. You know, I like to leave my artwork to some mystery, and if somebody sees what you see, great. If somebody sees a dolphin here instead of a turtle, great. If, you know, whatever. That's cool, dude. See what you see. Who will unlock the mysteries of Emmett Ferguson's paintings? I don't know. Everything is so mysterious, right? Like whatever you do, dude, whatever you see is what you see. And, you know, I won't disagree or necessarily agree. Do I make a painting with an idea beforehand? So, when I do these paintings, these recent projects of these legs, they're not so much about the creativity as far as the concept is. Like, these are all things that already exist, right? I'm not painting these out of memory or whatever, but the painting style, my use of color, my choices in design, the things that I put around it are. So here, you want to know a secret? Lou, the real secret. Woody's been asking some funny questions, but Lou, you sound serious. Here's the real secret of what's happening. So I'm doing this entire series painting the stuff that's in this book. So this is a book called The Ultimate Berg Drawing Collection. Originally it was made to teach drawing in black and white, grayscale, whatever. But I'm adapting it and doing paintings of these things. So there's the secret, Lou. The mystery has been unraveled. This is where this painting has originated from. Now, here's the funny thing, is I'm telling you this secret right now, but when I first discovered this secret, I was listening to Vincent van Gogh, so Vincent van Gogh, as most people know him, and he had all of these drawings that I was like, whoa, how did he come up with that? That looks amazing. That's incredible. And it turns out that a lot of his drawings were literally just copied from this book. He went through this book, not this specific book. This is a reprint, but he went through the material in his book like 3 whole times. So everything that's in here, he's been through 3 times, and that's how he learned to draw. So, you know, mystery solved. Maybe one day someone will see this and be like, "Whoa, these are such great ideas," and then they'll unlock the mystery by going into this book themselves and be like, "Whoa, that's where it's from. Amazing." But I do find it really interesting when people don't know the reference. Like these are all these are references. These are all references to the stuff in this book and homage to, you know, anybody who's studied from it. But, you know, to the everyday viewer who doesn't know what's going on, you know, it's a nice little surprise. It's a nice little like, whoa, this is kind of cool. What is this leg? Whoa, hey, look, it's a leg, dude. Yeah. So anyway, all part of the creative vision of a live stream meets the live streaming meets meets traditional artwork. So anyway, I'm seeing some form here that needs to be adjusted. So this is going to come around and down. We're going to go down towards the ankle. This ankle needs to come out a bit. And right now, just adapting and adjusting this ankle here, the bottom of this foot. Maybe paint some light right down here. And yeah. Y'all want the whole Shrek script? What do you mean? What's the whole Shrek script? So here we go. I'm done working on this leg for now. I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to come around. And let's go into this part right here, which I think is on the next page. Yes. So we're working on this on the next page, and let's start going into here with some of our highlights. We're going to take some of our highlights and build. Actually, I want to use my mid-tone here. I'm going to use a nice little mid-tone, mid-color. And we're going to go get some of the mid-shadows here. So maybe a little bit more red on this. A little bit more red. I'm going to go right here. This is all fine art. Fine art, we'll call it. Or this is very academic in nature, which, you know, I'm not the most fond of, so I like to add my own twist to things. But it's great to study these. I just love the aesthetic. Like, one thing I've really learned from this is like how to create drama with the hand, you know? So do I draw it on canvas beforehand or automatically with brush? So I sketch totally with a brush. So, you know, other people might use a pencil and then they'll paint over the pencil, but I totally sketch strictly with paint. I don't like pencil. I don't like pencils. Just whatever reason, writing with the pencil, using a pencil, graphite, it just makes me cringe. It's like some weird thing I have that I can't explain, but it's just like a texture that just bothers me, and I just can't stand using a pencil. I love pen. I love the feeling of a pen when I'm drawing with it, but give me like pencil and that scratchy feeling, and it just like bothers me. I can't explain it. So that's like a personal thing, and I mean, maybe it's a good thing because it makes me refuse to use it for a sketch. But right now, going through this and building up some of the mid shadows as I start to adapt the forms. So this is really just the beginning. Not the beginning. I'm like a quarter of the way through at least. but what we're working on is building up some of the lighter shadows rather than a darker. I've decided to go red, make this mostly red and green. And just because the turtle, so I put the turtle here yesterday from, who requested the turtle? I think it was Karen, she's not here anymore. But I put that turtle there, made everything green, so now we gotta kind of keep it together with a pencil. I draw on canvas with a pencil? No, I don't draw with a pencil, couldn't find out. Like, I even bought this really nice pencil that's this really beautiful mechanical pencil, but I don't use it because I don't like how a pencil feels. It just does not feel good in my hands. It doesn't feel natural, and I can't stand how a pencil feels. I guess I've said that a few times, but it really is like a weird thing for me. I'm not a big fan of using pencils. So that's that. We're gonna go down into here. We're gonna get the shadow in. Bring this down. I guess we're gonna have the muscle around here. And then let's go right here. I actually like where this leg is at as far as some of the shadow goes, but let me paint this down. Fill in a lot more of the blank space. There's not much shadow in here, but I want to close up this gap here. And definitely shadow along this side of the leg, so we're going to blend this a little better. Make this a little bit more subtle because we're using color. And definitely keep this shadow right here fairly dark. And across the top of the leg we need some color. So round this out. I am using references, of course, as I had mentioned earlier, to answer Lou's question. But let's see, do I fill in the background afterwards? Lou, great question. By the way, Lou, are you an artist? Are you starting to be an artist? Or like what what's inspiring, what's motivating all these questions? By the way, I love the questions. I really appreciate it. It is absolutely great. I'm just curious. Like, I like to, there's some people who have studied, and I think I don't want to ask questions in a way that that when you're asking them, I'm just giving like information that you already know, So I want to try to do my best to give you an answer that's actually like helpful after. So, are you an artist or and I would answer the question differently, because I know it's pretty straightforward. Do I fill in the background afterwards? Like, it depends, I mean, it depends on my mood, because if I'm doing abstract work, I might do it differently. Or, sometimes when I do the background, what's up, someone new? How you doing? Like, sometimes when I do the background, it's mostly just so I can help to better understand and create the structures here, establish the structures a little better. Good, great to see a familiar name. What's going on? Someone new. Did y'all celebrate the 4th together? Someone new in Eclipse? Did y'all get to see each other for the 4th of July? Okay, so we're gonna go here, go with the feet, and eventually I will organize these shadows. Rio, what's going on? Hello, Ria. Hello, welcome. Nah, sadly. Okay, well, maybe next time. You will have many times ahead. But by the way, what I love about this book is how it teaches you to create drama. Like, if I was to ask myself, hey, give me a hand gesture that looks, just give me a hand gesture, hold your hand in a certain way, I might just be like, oh, here's my hand, hello. But look at these hands. Look at the hands that you're supposed to, that are studied in here. Look at these hands. These are feet. But look at this hand. You would never think to hold a hand like this, and it is beautiful how this hand is structured. Like, it looks like there's a finger missing, but it is a dramatic hand. Like, that is dramatic. It's like a powerful sense of drama just by the way the hand is carried. This, like, no one would ever think to bring this one knuckle up, but you know, you just like it. Just there's a sense of beauty in the way that these arms and these hands have their gestures. Like, just look at this knuckle and how these knuckles are just hanging in this form, right? And that's one thing that this book teaches you to appreciate is how, you know, how to capture a certain aesthetic. So let's see. Lou, you always painted as a kid, still to this day, but you never studied anything. You always just went off your thoughts and sketched out with a brush like I do. I'm interested in how I detail everything. I even watching your lives seem to have gotten better in a short amount of time. Thanks, someone new. What's the name of the book to begin with? So the name of this book specifically, Lou, is The Ultimate Berg Drawing Collection. However, I do want to say this. This book is a reprint. This book is a reprint of the original. The original, if you want to find it, and this is very good. So the original is actually public domain. So it was written and published in the 1850s, which means it's free on the internet. And if you look up Cours de Dessin, that's Coursdessin by Charles Berg and Jean-Luc Jerome, Jean-Luc Jerome, I think his name is. You can find it online for free. So there's a fun fact for you, but I like to have a physical version, so I keep this physical version with me. And that's that. But let's see. So these details I build up over time. I seem to have gotten better. Thank you very much, someone new. So yes, over time, that is my goal, is to improve. And not just improve realistically, but to improve stylistically, to, you know, paint differently, paint better, paint all sorts of different ways. So there we go. Painting in this shadow right here. The shadow disappears at the bottom, so I'm going to let that kind of sit there. And, you know, I've noticed that I've gotten a lot slower in my painting style. I've slowed down quite a bit compared to how I used to paint. But here we go. Let's get back into this leg here. So we're going to go with another mid shadow here, and we're going to fill in certain spaces along this leg that need this. So it's going to be just a little bit darker just to capture this red. And I'm going to paint these all shades of red just because I wanted to do one of these paintings with like a consistent color palette. And all of that. So it's just a consistent color palette here. And here we go. So I'm getting that. Baloo, you're welcome, man. So yeah, hope you were able to find this book. It's a great book for drawing. Like, here's why this is such a great book for drawing. And there might be a link in my description. Hey, thanks so much, someone new. Good to see you in. Good to see a familiar name, and you know, it's great to have both you and Eclipse in the same room. This is fantastic. So here we go. What I love about this book, Lou, is whether you're a beginner at drawing or an expert, like, you can pretty much learn how to do it. Because, like, look at this. All it is you start with this arm, right? Like, how many, like, you just copy these exact straight lines. Like, you don't even have to be perfectly straight. And then all it is a matter of rounding out some of the corners, bringing in some of the shadows, keeping some of the shadows really dark and some of the shadows really light. And you just go from there. Like, this book has made it so straightforward to learn how to draw. You know, I mean, there is a gap, right? There's a gap in skill between this and the shadowing required to accomplish this. But, you know, once you understand the form of something, then you just have to understand the shape of something, and then you got to understand the form and how to create that, and you're good to go, dude. Like you got a lot going, got a lot to pick up. And look, it builds up little by little. So you're building up. You're starting with these simple things, right? Just these simple eyes. Maybe it's not that simple, but you build into these faces. What's up, Caitlin? How you doing? You build up into the faces, and then the ears, and then you build up into legs, feet, hands, entire arms, and eventually you move into legs and even entire bodies, physical bodies. All these are in a classical style, but you know what? You can do it. You can do it. And I will say that I'll be moving into that soon enough. But we got Nikki Bogdan. Welcome back. How you doing, Bogdan? Good to see you. I can't hear anybody because everybody's muted on my TikTok. But Bogdan, welcome. We got Vera I can't see Vera Mashorka. Is that how you say that, mate? Mashorka and Nika. Welcome. I can read Russian or Cyrillic letters, but I can't speak Russian. So and I don't know every single letter. But yeah, cool. Caitlin, thanks so much. Welcome. So yeah, what we're working on right now is just this part. I need to increase the light. There's a reflective light at the bottom here that I need to include into my drawing here, into my painted sketch. So you don't necessarily have to paint this book, by the way, Lou. I'm just painting it because I like to add my own thing to everything I do. So my way of achieving that with this project is by painting it rather than drawing it. Now that can be controversial because I'm not doing it the way it's supposed to be done, but that's okay. So anyway, not too controversial. Y'all got any movie recommendations? You feel like watching a movie? What about a show? Are you okay with watching a show, Emmy? How do you feel about picking up a new show? And what type of movies or shows do you like? That should be the first question before talking about getting into the shows. But yeah, what type of movies or shows do you like, Emmy? So here we go. Just painting in over these shadows, allowing the shadow to basically peek through, get a little bit more paint. The shadow's a little bit too harsh underneath. So I want to use this pinker shade. Sub, Caitlin, welcome. Derek, Goat. Yes, you prefer movies though. You'll watch anything. Do you like? I saw this interesting movie. If you like thriller sci-fi movies, I saw Vivarium. I think that was on Amazon Prime. That was kind of like a creepy feeling movie. It made you feel very uncomfortable, like it's a thriller movie. So it's a little bit of horror with some weird creatures that take over this little town. But that movie can make your skin crawl if you're not prepared for a sci-fi thriller. If you want something more upbeat, I saw Mamma Mia 2. Oh, Vivarium, Vivarium. If you want a painting movie that's a comedy, there's Owen Wilson's movie called Painter. I think that's a feel-good, funny movie, and you'll feel good after watching it. I think you're not gonna feel I've had mixed reviews when I recommended the movie Painter. I've had mixed reviews by people who have seen it. Some people did like it, some people didn't. But as someone who's painting myself, I had to watch it, and I thought it was pretty decent. So pretty decent. And that's a very lighthearted show, especially if you like Bob Ross. If you appreciate a good Bob Ross episode, you'll probably like Vivarium. So what I need to do right now is I need to go in with some of our highlights, which I've so far missed on this piece. Go in with some of my highlights and paint on top. So actually I need to go highlight here. And let's go highlight into this space. So we're gonna go highlight around. And here we go. So painting and blending there. And using our really light pink to create some differentiation in here. I'm gonna go like this and bring this down. And there we go. All right, look at my TikTok people trying to get some free wins off me. Bogdan, we gotta win this. Bogdan, we're on a team, dude. We gotta win this. I don't know. I can't hear you, and I don't know if you can hear me, but great to play with you, dude. I'm glad we're TikTok friends. You are my TikTok friend. All right. So anyway, let's paint this down. And who's my favorite artist? My favorite artist is, you watch The Painter then, it's 2 a.m. in Italy. Watching a horror movie is too scary. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Painter's a fun, quirky movie that won't give you nightmares. So let's see, we're painting this down into the leg here. And let's round this kneecap out a little bit right here. And let's go give a little bit of highlight to separate this leg. And let's give some pink, some light space into here to create a separation with the ankle. I'm going to paint this down right here. And just as we do this, you can start to see how some of this starts to come together to just create this beautiful formation here. So this might be a little bit too bright. Might have to pull in some variety of pink, but let's see, let's go like this. I'm gonna continue brushing this down. Go. Lightning. You start to see the development of the form. Hey, take care, Caitlin. Thanks so much for tuning in. But Lou, my favorite artist. Hey, Emmy, take care. Enjoy the movie. Look forward to hearing your thoughts on it when you get back. So, Lou, yeah, my favorite artist. Did I answer that question? I don't even remember. I feel like I might have gotten distracted and not answered. But my favorite artist is hands down Vincent van Gogh. But there's a lot of artists that I absolutely love their work. Jean-Michel Basquiat, he's great as far as being able to use art as a form of just expressing his thoughts at any given moment. I love that idea, of like they say that with Basquiat's art. You'll see like random words on his artwork, and on his artwork, there'll be like random words, and you just wonder about it. And where I think that's so powerful is that they said that he would like go from canvas to canvas, and just paint whatever like came to mind on each canvas, whatever time. He didn't really have like a specific way, and what I find really intriguing about that is it really puts in the idea of like this spontaneous level of creativity of not limiting your artwork to just what you had planned originally, but keeping it open to a spontaneous transformation as you go. And I love that idea. And, you know, of course, it's much harder to achieve if you're painting a very specific image. But if you can get creative, like Basquiat, there's so much potential in that artwork, I think. So let's see. Thank you. Take care, Emmy. I'll see you around. Caitlin has left. Amy Spot, you drew yourself a profile picture. What do I think? Let me see. It's hard to see. I can't actually pull it up, but it looks like it was inspired by Teen Titans, maybe, or some form of anime. That's cool. I can't like see the full details, but like from a small photo or from a distance, it looks perfectly fine to me. It looks like something you could be proud of, and obviously, you know, with all art, hopefully, you stick with it long enough, and you know, the longer you stick with it, the more it evolves, it transforms, and you help eventually turn it into your own thing. Or maybe you become an animator. Maybe that's your thing, right? Maybe you become an animator and you animate that style of cartoon. So I'm gonna keep this kind of rough. This space right here. It was like ripped off. This part was literally like ripped off in this figure. So yeah, we're gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna eventually I need to bring in some of the shadow right here, but here we go. Let's keep this going as far as highlight. Let's bring the highlight right there. Highlight right here. We're gonna bring a little highlight right under the knee there. Highlight, highlight up, highlight around the feet. Let's go highlight right into here. Highlight around the knee. Just adding a series of highlights, transforming the light. Your kitty corn. Oh, okay. What's up, kitty corn? How you doing? It's hard to keep track of all these names. Not only do I have to have I had the challenge of keeping track of pretty much anybody who spends time in this room, but at the same time I've had to keep track of people changing their names every time they visit. So forgive me. Oh wait, the winning host may propose funny task. Okay, so forgive me if I don't remember exactly what you were here originally, or your life story from our previous time. I do remember Kitty Corn though. I just don't remember the exact what brought you here, I think. But good to see a familiar name. Kitty Corn's familiar, but not Amy Spot. Good to learn. See you're changing your name. But ultimately, instead of that, sounds like you're getting into art. It sounds like you're creating profile pictures. You're getting into drawing. Is that what's going on? That's great. That's awesome. Good stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, the message JMB was who really got you interested. You love the idea of creative flow, and that's why you never painted canvas with the reference, but you should. You know what? Like honestly, oh, JMB, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm glad. For a second it took me, I was like JMB. I thought that, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it comes down to how you want to create, right? Like if that's what you truly want to do, and that's like your freedom, I think you should do it. Like for me, if I was just like this super abstract painter, I would totally just be doing that right now. But part of me has always wanted to be able to also paint like bodies and paint like classical structures. So that's the main reason why I'm doing this. And also, there's this idea that I learned from my mentor. It's a question that you can ask yourself. They consider a question for success, but it's who do you listen to? And you know, there's this idea that if you if there's somebody, and who do you listen to is this idea of who do you want to learn from, who do you want to study from. And the person I chose, at least for art, is Vincent van Gogh. So because he used this book so many times, he went through it 3 times. His company published the book. A lot of his famous drawings are actually just sketches from this book. I felt like I had to commit some of my studies to the work in here. So, but if that's not your dude, that's not your guy, that's not your spiritual mentor, art spirit. I mean, not like, I'm using this term spirit spirit loosely because of the fact that they're dead. The mentorship of somebody who's passed away as an artist. If Jean-Michel JMB is your guy, go for that, man. Like, I say don't let the idea of like figurative drawing stop you. But I will say JMB was a really good he was a good figurative artist. I've seen some of his sketches for like figurative stuff, and it's good. But where I think his work is absolutely brilliant isn't his figurative work. Like, it's not. The work that makes JMB so brilliant is the work that he's known for, all the expressionist stuff, all the beautiful quotes and phrases, and the characters that he painted, and his self-portraits, and his personal ambition combined with his all these other things. So yeah, it's really for me. It really was answering that question, like, who do I listen to, right? Who am I listening to? Because those are the people that are going to influence me. Those are the people who you're going to model yourselves after, and you just got to make sure that you're listening to the right people. Fortunately, Vincent has like an entire series of letters that he wrote to his brother, and they're all available like on audio, so I can kind of listen to him via interviews. But yeah, you just gotta know who you're listening to, and through that, I think you could find your way. For sure. So, I'm glad that was helpful. But, yeah, that's actually what inspired this. If I didn't listen to Vincent van Gogh, and I guess if my favorite artist was Jean-Michel Basquiat, I'd probably have, like, I don't know how I would organize my station here, but I would probably have, like, multiple paintings that I'm working on at once, which maybe one day I hope to have enough space to do that. But, I'd probably have like 5 different paintings set up right now, and just like working on all of them as I walk around the room, because that's what he did. If I wanted to get into the mindset of JMB, I would literally try to copy what he was doing. Not like literally copy his artwork, but, try to dive into that mindset of what would I do if I just had these 5 huge blank canvases sitting in front of me, and I just had a paintbrush. What would I do? How would I, walk around? And, I wouldn't necessarily try to walk around like JMB, but, I would set myself up in that environment and be like, what can I do? How can I learn from that experience, from that person? Yeah, so that's what actually brought me to these specific paintings here. But of course, Vincent was a very, very remarkable painter, and my work's quite a bit different. I try to be a bit looser, and my process is a little bit rougher than I'm guessing how he painted. So, that's just me personally, figuring out my own way, but that'd be sick to try it out. Yeah, it would be sick to try out. Like if I had just a ton of space for a studio. But the ultimate goal is to build up to that. And once we get there, Kat will be happy because that means we'll have more space in the home.
Oh, yes. Yes. Someone gonna sponsor you for a studio?
Yeah, someone gonna sponsor me for a studio. YouTube.
You have an extra room? That'd be awesome.
Hopefully YouTube will sponsor me for a studio. But yes, that is the idea. So here we go, just painting these spaces down, getting this rough style here. Let me get back to this leg. Figuring out where the shadows are, where the highlights are. And yeah, hey Lou, so you said it seems like you're a JMB fan. Did you get to see any of his exhibits recently? I know he's been making a tour. His work has been making a tour around Los Angeles, Southern California. I think New York as well has done something. I took my girlfriend to see his King Pleasure exhibit out in Los Angeles. It was pretty cool. And it was really nice to listen to the curator talk about him because, you know, I learned so many things about him that I really didn't know before. I mean, you know, you do research and you learn quite a lot, but there was still so much that the curator added. You know, I know that sometimes when you listen to a curator, you got to learn how to like filter out, you know, their opinion from the actual facts. But I think the curator did a good job of sharing his thoughts around the work that really contributed to a positive experience at that exhibit. Now, I'm not saying every curator is like that, or I guess he wasn't a curator, he was just a tour guide. I got lucky because they were doing free tours, so that was kind of cool actually. But great show, highly recommend King Pleasure if you get a chance to see it. I don't know what city it's in now. But anyway. Whew, okay, so looks like I have double digit likes on this live stream now. By the way, if you're here, thank you so much for being here. Just a moment ago, we were talking about JMB, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Absolutely incredible artist, highly inspiring. And what I thought was most powerful about his work, like his figures are really interesting. His characters, the figures that he makes. This leg looks wonky, but I'm gonna fix that later. But what I think is so great about his work is just this idea of him working on so many different pieces at once, which is really hard to do with figurative work, like realist work, because when you're working with like realist work, you know, you gotta like focus on an area, and then, you know, you gotta like really be detailed. But when you can really be an artist like JMB, Jean-Michel Basquiat, you can just move, like I can just imagine him, you know, just like walking around, moving around this room, and just like taking different ideas and like just whatever ideas he gets, and he just like putting it onto the canvas. And I think it's a very powerful thought of how he worked, similar to Jackson Pollock, except Jackson Pollock would, I guess, probably be more flinging paint around. Am I so creative? What do you mean? Am I so creative? I think, you know, it's a funny question. I think everybody's creative, honestly. I think everybody is creative. And, you know, I just happen to be painting, which is one creative outlet. But you know what? There's people that are creative in business. There's inventors that are creative. There's speakers who are very imaginative. And this needs to be rounded out a little, so I'm working on rounding this out. Rounding this out with paint. There we go. I need to tighten this calf inward a little bit, so we're going to blend this section, and then we're going to fix that a little later. But before we go a little further, let's go ahead and clean off this brush, and I'm going to use a different brush to paint some of this other area. So, pleasure meeting. Hey, thanks, Lou. I don't know where you are, but if you become an artist in Southern California, definitely let me know, and you know we'll have an opportunity to maybe we could do a group show one day. But anyway, Yes, great to chat. Love having conversations while I'm painting. And here we go, cleaning off this brush, changing up what we're doing right now, switching it out. And oh, it's hot today. I got my air conditioning on in Southern California. A couple of days ago it was like 80 at this time, but yesterday, or just these past couple of days, we've been starting to hit into the 90s. 95, I think it's like 95 right now outside. So there's that. You know what, I'm gonna use a bigger brush. Use this brush right here. It's a flat brush. I see a comment, I can't read it from here, but I will be back over there in a moment. Just gotta clean off this brush right here. Actually, you know what? I should use a more pointy brush. I need to use an angled brush for this. Let's see, where's one of my angled brushes? Here we go. I don't use my angled brushes enough. Let's do it. Alright, so here we go. Yes. So, C-Bond 2, what's going on? Hey, Miami, Florida, cool. Yeah, I live in Los Angeles, but I'm actually going to Florida in December. But yes, multi cross-country art connection there. This is bad because I just colored this with pink. I didn't want that. But let's see, maybe I can lay this down somewhere where it won't be disruptive. So C-Bond 2, welcome. What's going on with you? How are you doing, C-Bond? Derek James, you found you could say things with color and shapes that you couldn't say any other way. Things you had no words for. Oh, Derek. Wow. Derek, that is like if you were getting interviewed 30 years into a successful career as an artist and someone asked you what made you become an artist, that's like an answer that a genius would have, dude. Amazing. Now, I personally, you know, that is so good that if that was actually, if that's actually how I felt, I might take it, but I cannot. That's a powerful experience that you've had. I'm kidding, by the way. I wouldn't actually take it, but, or maybe I would. I don't know. I might adapt a part of it. But more seriously, yeah, that is something that, yeah, that's amazing. And you know what? I think at some level I can relate to that, but not so much shapes. More so my brush marks. When I use certain brush marks at a certain point. When I use certain brush marks at a certain point, I feel like there's ways that I express myself with those brush marks that don't necessarily, that you can't really like communicate, you know? But that is a very powerful quote, man. I will have to quote you. What's up, Vern? You got something in your mouth? Derek, I will have to quote you. One day someone's going to ask me a question like, you know, how did you get some of your brush marks? And I'll be like, you know what? One of my friends on YouTube put it this way, that there are some things that you can do with brush marks that you simply can't communicate with words. There we go. I don't know where you got that, Derek, but that was an amazing, brilliant quote, dude. So, C.E. Bond, you've been doing good. Great. Awesome. What brings you in today, C.E. Bond? What kind of thoughts have appeared in your world? Thoughts and ideas. I know you probably have a rich life filled with ideas and observations and whatever. Do share. I don't know, Derek, how do you feel about being a wonderfully thoughtful artist as far as your words go? That is something incredibly thoughtful that you just said, I think. What? So here we go, creating the shadow this way. I'm gonna bring in some shadow. And here we go. So let me pop in some more of this color here. And yes, so we're gonna bring this color down. Here we go. All right, so let's go like this. Create this form right here. And let's go like this. So we're gonna go right under the toe here. And we're gonna go right under the toe here. And we're gonna go into here, carve around the toe, right underneath, create a shadow, and then we're just gonna go straight across here. It's a very rough brush. And go into here. Let's get a little bit more shadow up over here around the leg. And darken this space here. And then we're going to darken this area right down here. Create a little bit of a shadow, a rounded out shadow right around this space here. And there we go. So the motion is sometimes so strong that you work without knowing it. The strokes come like speech. Derek James, my goodness. Here with the soul of a poet and spirit of pure energy and emotion. My goodness. Derek. When are you going to be on TV? Are you like looking these quotes up? Because they're very good. They're very good. You are not the average YouTuber. And yes, I'm like speechless, waiting for Derek to share more of his poetry, his thoughts around artwork. But yes, some powerful words have been spoken today across my YouTube channel. And let's see, right here we're gonna go with some blue. Let's add a couple little go down like this. Actually, you know what? We need the white here. And here we go. So I'm going to start painting into some of the lighter spaces. And let's create a area blue like right around here. I can start creating out the shapes. And so the shape comes down like right here. And then we're going to get a nice little corner right here. We're actually going to even push this up a bit, push this corner up a bit into the foot. Into our foot here, and goes around. So right now I'm adding in some of the lights for this, some of the light structures. And actually this probably needs to come down a bit more. This foot's a little big. Let's go like this. So this is going to be painted up here. I'm going to go like that, like this. And here we have it. So keep pushing this out. And let's go up into this space. So we're going to go with this light blue. I'm just going to go down and color this area in here. Every good painter paints what he is. Dude, Derek. What another beautiful quote by Derek. Every painter paints what he is. Yes, I guess that is so great. I like that a lot. Honestly, Derek, you could probably start a YouTube channel just typing up really nice quotes. I could definitely see that. You could definitely build a YouTube channel just coming up with really amazing quotes. I can see that. I can picture that happening. And not just happening, like, you know, I can't picture you because I don't know what you look like, but I can actually picture a channel like that being successful. Might be hard to imagine, but yes. So here we go. We're going to go up here. And carving out the area around the leg here. As we eventually move down into our area. So we're going to go like this. Bring this down a bit more. We will eventually add some transition space, but for now, just going to paint this down. Let's create some jaggedness. We'll create some jaggedness in here. And Derek, I mean, I don't know if you're still here, but what do you feel brought you to this stream today? Like, were you, like, I'm so curious, like, were you watching cat videos? But totally mean this in like a just a curious way. Were you just like watching cat videos and then this popped up? So I always like to know like how I get discovered on YouTube. I think it's very interesting to know. I just use cat videos as an example because I watch a lot of cat videos. Or maybe you watch something else. I don't know. So here we go. Really spending time to build out the format of this figure right here. And this actually needs to be blue right here. So I'm going to carve this down as blue. And that needs to have a little space, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going like that. It looks like the back of this leg is actually on a stone. It's carved out of the stone, because how else? It's hard to tell whether it's in the stone or not. I don't think it's in the stone. It's probably just in this back leg here. So here we go. Let's go into here, and we're just gonna paint in some of the blue. This is just gonna be the under color here. And bring some more across in this area. And here we go. So okay, so we're starting to get some more progress here. Now I gotta add this blue shade of blue into the leg right here. Artist painting video, sweet. Thank you, thank you. Well, thank you for jumping into this one. I know there are hundreds of thousands of very talented artists on YouTube, and somehow you made your way here, and for that I'm grateful for you stopping by. Yes, thank you. And I do find it interesting because there are lots and lots of great artists on YouTube. So many incredibly, wonderfully talented people. And I really think like more of them should be live. But most people don't do like live streams. And I think it's even hard to keep up with. You know? But I also think when you do a live stream, sometimes it could limit your freedom because you're afraid of what you might say, what people might think of your process. Like there's so many reasons not to do it. And I think it sucks that, that these like limitations can prevent more artists from doing wonderful live streams because of self-imposed limitations. So I need to adjust where the shape of this is. So let me see how to do that. Yeah, I really wish there was way more. But the world, share your work with the world. Wow, thanks.
Yes.
But you are totally welcome. And my goal is to continue doing it. So I will be here, and I will continue doing it. But thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome. And let's see. So that's going to go like that. And then this is going to go like this. And then this is going to go like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one is right there. So here we go. Let's go ahead and paint in some of this space right here. And then we're going to bring some of this color more of this color in. No, I think I can really work this space right here and eventually figure out how to mold it a little better like a sculpture. We're gonna leave this for now. We've got the general shape, and then go down here and let's get that, and we'll have our overall design. By the way, if anybody's here right now, I do want to put a promo out for a TV show I worked on, For All Mankind. For those of you who watched that show, For All Mankind, it's an Apple TV show. I worked on season 3, episode 1, and you could see me as the bartender on For All Mankind. Just to let you know, if any of you are curious. Yes. So. Or if you're more of a Robert Downey Jr. fan, I got to work on The Sympathizer, which is a great show that's out on HBO Max right now. And I got to be one of the Vietnamese. So it takes place in Vietnam, and I was playing a Vietnamese extra. So I work as an extra, playing a Vietnamese extra. And if you look close enough, in some of the later episodes, I think like episode 4 or 5, you could see me in there. But anyway, duly noted, yes. So I got to work on that. So a little surprise there for those of you following along. Thought I'd put a little promo there. A little promo for some wonderful television shows. So there we go. Those are some good shows. You know what? When Emmy was here, I should have told her to watch those shows because that's what I worked on. Oh well. Oh yeah. What? Where's she at? Emmy, you still here? No, you're not. But anyway. Now I know for next time I can promote some of the things that. Note to self. See, that's one thing about my live streams that you won't get anywhere else is I share too much of my thoughts, right? I share a lot of my thoughts. And some of my thoughts are notes that I probably should just keep to myself. But you know what? That is the beauty of live streaming. That is the beauty of my free flow live stream. What's going on, King Master Lord? How you doing, King? There we go. So here we go. Almost done with getting some of these basic structures here. So what's going on with you? How's your 4th of July, King? All right, well, this has taken a lot of time just to do these. And you know what? This is kind of like funky because these two mold into each other while the rest kind of don't, but we'll make it work. We will do something that makes this all make sense. And duly noted. So we're gonna go like this. I'm gonna bring some of this color here. Let's just paint this up so we have color the space around here. Oh yeah, and what I started off earlier with this live stream, I was talking about this idea of of limiting beliefs. And I find it so interesting, the idea of how hard it is to not just create a new belief, but to, I mean, obviously to create a new belief, that's pretty hard too. I mean, maybe it's not so hard. Maybe you really just need like one single moment, one single event in your life that helps to transform a limiting belief into something incredibly powerful, something incredibly positive. You know, you just need one positive experience. But I think, sadly, some of those experiences are fairly few and far between, depending on how often you're like out and about. But I think it's an incredibly powerful idea to experience the wonder of overcoming limiting beliefs. So let's see. I need this color. I'm trying to get as much of the paint off of this brush as I can, so that I can work. Alright, let's clean off this brush. Been at it for a few minutes, quite a while now for this section. And we're going to go around and we're going to keep like a standard. We're going to do a couple shades of yellow. We'll do a couple shades of yellow. And the way I'm going to do that, what kind of brush do I really want to use for this? I'm going to use a nice thin brush. Actually, I need a bigger brush. Should I use a thin brush or a big brush? I'm going to use a thinner, thick thin brush. I'm going to use this one. Alright, so we're going to go, we need a lot of yellow. That's my next big colors, lots of yellow. And sadly, it's going to be hard to find a spot for it because I use so much, let's use this cat yellow. We got our white. This yellow. I'm going to mix some of this other yellow here. I'm going to use tons of yellow. So let's see, let me find a nice dry spot here. It's kind of wet, but you know, not too bad. I could work with this area. You know what, if a little bit overflows, that's okay. This might be good, this green space right here. So we're going to drop down a lot of that color. And then let's bring in some more. Melanie, Avita, John, Al, what's going on? How you doing, everybody? TikTok, great place, 674. So let's keep this going. We're gonna add a lot of our yellow here, our azo yellow. And we're gonna take some of our Gamblin' Cad yellow. So we need a Cad yellow. Well, there's quite a difference between our Cad yellow and our azo yellow. Yeah, azo yellow is a little bit muster. Our Cad yellow is more of like a pure yellow. And let's go ahead and we're gonna create some of this, push some of this into it. Let's go some of this yellow and push this all around in a circle. Bring that into the middle. Push this into that. Put Put that in the middle, and push some more of this into that section. We're creating a little trifecta of yellow here. It's somewhere in the middle. We're going to push this and blend all this. We're going to use up as much of this creamy mac and cheese yellow as we can. So let's go like this. I want to find a cohesive design here. Let's start in the center. And here we go. So popping this over, taking some of this yellow, and go boom, boom. Let's grab some of this yellow and go pop, pop. Let's grab some of our pop yellow. And continue on. So this is a part that takes a bit more time. You gotta see how we can make this design interesting, you know? We don't want to just or do something to keep these forms and shapes different. Maybe I should follow the form. Let's go like, go across right here. Already starting to like how it looks. This red is, this yellow is really helping to make it all pop here. And maybe rather than just making this all touch, we're gonna make some of it come out there, and then the rest come out there, and then another piece come out here, and then here. Grab some more of this yellow. One thing about this style of like impasto paint is you constantly got to go back to the surface and get more paint on your brush. Otherwise it just doesn't work. You know what, let's start to curve some of this shape right here. Let's curve this area, curve this area, curve this space, curve this space. And I think this will help to establish the shape of this, the curvature of this foot here. And I'm going to keep working this. So I'm doing a technique called impasto. And basically all it is taking a lot of paint on your brush, maybe even more than that. I mean, this would be like light impasto. There's like a level of impasto that's basically sculpting with paint, where you might just take a huge glob of paint. Like, I'll actually share an example. So like right now, this is like impasto, right? I take a nice thick glob of paint and I just start to lay it down, you know? And it helps to create a texture on the surface of your canvas. This one's a little too much. You're going to create a texture on your canvas. and it helps to create this like texture, this effect. And you can't really see it until you look really close. And then there's like paint sculpting. So I might take like a huge blob like this. This is a huge blob. And then, I don't know. This is the first time I've actually experimented with this exact way of doing things. But let's just say I just put it in here. In this space right here, lay it down. And I don't know. Let's play with this. Let's see how we can sculpt this paint in here. We're just gonna sculpt it. Let's sculpt it. Actually, this might not even be perfect sculpting because the actual sculpting might like, you know, kind of push that up and just leave this as like a little blob like this. But let's play with this. Let's see what happens if we just lay this huge blob of paint right here and just use it to create and transform the space around here without. Boom, boom, boom. I actually like this. Makes it easier because I don't have to keep going back to my palette for paint to bring it on. Yeah, I kind of like this way of painting. It's a bit messy and there's a little bit too much paint, but I kind of like that effect it has. It's a good effect. You don't quite create as much texture and design, but it definitely creates a look. There we go. Look at that. I actually like how that came out. I don't know how it would, but it turned out okay. And let's go like this. So we come in right around here and let's start to bring some of this together. This form right here. And we're gonna bring this down a bit more. What's up, Kat? How you doing?
Yep. I'm a little hungry.
Huh?
I'm a little hungry. Lisa gave me some soup.
Okay, cool.
There's some of the pasta left from the other night when we cooked. I added some tomato sauce to mine that I had for lunch.
Okay, nice.
Okay, that's your hungry.
And here we go. So I think it's possible to actually do this much quicker. Just like a madman. Bam, 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 bam. I think the quicker you are, the more expressive you feel. So let's actually lay some of this in between the turtle lines here. Bam, 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 bam. Add some of this color into here, into this space. But the only problem with it is if you go too fast, you can miss some spots and like leave some white area, which, you know, it's not that bad, that big of a deal, but definitely affects the overall aesthetic of the painting if you leave some spaces open. So let's go like this. We're gonna bring this over. I'm gonna create this, guide the eyes to this piece right here. Let's bring this impasto. I'm gonna create a circle right here, like a circular object. Let's do this. So down, down. Let's take some of the orange yellow and go into here. Bam. We're going to take some of the mustard yellow and we're going to go bring this in. Just want a bright yellow painting here. Ah, something got on my eye. Okay. Here. Can you take the papers off and put them there, please? Just like stack them over here or anywhere.
You're not gonna get soup on
Uh huh.
Oh, you're moving.
Yeah, I'm moving everything for you. Well, I will.
Where? Just on top of this stuff?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's okay.
Realize this stuff.
All right, and here we go. So this textured impasto work really helps to create a lot of variety in the look of your painting. And here we go. Let's take another big glob. Let's play with this idea of a huge glob. And let's go right here. We're going to lay this glob down. We're going to lay another glob down halfway. And then let's lay another glob down further halfway. And let's just carve this. I think we've got a technique on our hands. A very messy technique. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm going to create a frame with this, a framing effect here. Grab some of this yellow. It's a lot of paint, by the way. So we're going to put some of the color here. We're going to go right into here, grab this, grab this. Let's go here, here, bam, 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 bam. All right. Pop that out straight up so that we can carve out that leg right there. This is just going to help us create an effect as far as how this painting looks. We'll stick with our yellow. You know what we're going to do? We're going to slowly curve this around. We're going to curve this around. So we're going to curve the top part. And one cool thing about painting like this is you can like carve. You can really start to carve out the paint. It's a pretty interesting effect that you can achieve. I'm just kind of finding that out now. But you know, you have to have the opportunity. You have to create the opportunity for yourself to really set up your painting in a way that allows for a lot of this movement. So this is gonna go almost straight across the top here. There we go, bam. Let's bring out some more paint. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. You know what? We can put a couple circles. Why not just do circles? Couple circles and designs here. And here we go. I'm gonna go whoom, 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 whoom. I'm gonna continue going around this circle of yellow. I'm probably gonna need some more yellow in a moment. The amount of paint that's necessary for this level of work is really interesting. I think it's really insightful to the artists who paint like this. It's very insightful because the cost of the paint just for this little section right here. I mean, I don't know exactly how much it is, but there is an expense to it. And I find that, like, you know, of course this style is from, like, you know, the 1800s. This impasto style of work. And I feel like one can only imagine like how much more expensive it was back then to create paint. And for anyone painting like this, you had to really be, I mean, not only did you have to like stand out because of the fact that it wasn't like an accepted form it wasn't an accepted style yet. It was still considered like renegade. I do find it interesting to imagine how expensive just this much paint would have been. And here we go. Maybe we'll throw some white in. I think there needs to be a little bit more highlight. Should I add more highlight? Throw in a little bit of a brown. Let's try that. I'm getting bored of this color already. Maybe that's where the discipline of all this comes from. Let's see. Oh, what do I think about this color? Why not? Well, let's throw a couple hints of this color into here. There we go. It adds a little bit of dimension to it, I think, this color. Yeah, adds a little bit of dimension. You don't want it all.
What kind of soup this is?
What kind of soup is it? Tomato?
Taste it. What do you think? Some little stars.
The what?
I can't tell the flavor.
Oh, are you sick?
No.
Oh.
I can't tell what flavor it is. But it doesn't taste it.
Yeah, I like this use of brown because it creates like creates an effect here. Let's keep going with this. We're gonna keep playing with this design. Bring some of this design into the leg down here. What you said, babe?
So maybe just use salt.
Thought you were cussing under your breath.
There's no flavor. I'm sure it's not.
Alright, so let's go like this. That's what my cat sounds like. She said, "Ah."
She wants to eat, but she has food there. She's not eating.
Ah.
I know. Yeah, much better with salt.
Mm. Salt is a magical seasoning. Used to be worth lots of money back in the day. And here we go, painting out the bottom, painting out the bottom here. Let's grab some more of this yellow. We go boom, boom, boom. Let's go bring this section down or up, and this section down, and this section down, down, down. Let's grab some of this, some more of this. Actually, we need some more of the brown and yellow. Let's grab some of this brown, mix this in a bit better. I want to try to keep them separate so that they're not, too interfering with each other. Let's actually bring this up a little bit. I want to be able to paint up here. here we go. Now, let's grab some more yellow. Just drop a big load of the Azo Yellow Deep. So drop another big load of our Azo Yellow Standard. Might need a twisty tube for this. So I use one of these like twist tube things in order to get paint out and stuff. It's really helpful, especially on the smaller tubes. You can't really use these for big tubes because it's a little too small, but you could definitely use them on the smaller tubes and you'll get a good effect from it. But to keep the colors consistent, I also want to throw in my Cad Yellow Light. So we're going to throw that back in as well. And continue building these colors. So let's bring this color in. We'll bring our yellow color in. And we're going to bring that color in. And then we're going to mix this in the center here. And then we've got ourselves a color. This. Go. We're going to continue on, build in this area here. This isn't a type of painting you can do. What's up, someone new? How's it going? How is everything going with you? Welcome back. Any new insights into life in the past half hour since I guess you've been gone? I don't know exactly how long ago you left, but any new insights? So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and add these colors. Still doing some of this impasto. Impasto meaning really thick layers of paint, so you can actually see the textures of paint on here simply because of how thick the paint is laid on. And it's really interesting because you can't be a painter that's timid with paint and do this style. You just can't, because you need to do a lot of paint. You know, I remember I would like try these effects. By the way, I actually learned this from I don't know how old she was, but there was this. I was doing painting at a park, and this family came up to me. It was a guy and his daughter and his niece. And I want to say she was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 14, 13 years old. And she said something to me in a foreign language. I don't know what kind of language it was. And her daughter, or her niece, or her cousin actually. So it was her cousin, but the girl, her cousin, and the father, one of the fathers or whatever. And her cousin says to me, translates, she's like, oh, she says that she's also an artist. She's an artist as well. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Do you want to take the brush and paint? So I was in the middle of this painting, and I gave this girl the brush, and I like walked away, and she like did her own thing for, I don't know, like 3 minutes to 5 minutes. And you know, the dad was all happy because I let her paint and whatever. And I got to give her credit. She is the one who taught me initially, the first person to teach me how to do this style. Like, so, and it's so funny. I don't know if she was reading my mind. This girl must have been really smart because in the park, I was doing this painting, and it was called My Day with Vincent van Gogh. So basically, I was doing this scene, and I painted Vincent van Gogh into the scene. My version of him, just some guy with a straw hat and orange hair. And either she knew what I was trying to go for, but I couldn't achieve because my painting was very flat. Like, you know, there was no texture to it. Anyone who knows Vincent van Gogh knows that he painted his pictures with this amazing amount of paint, like in this style, with really thick layers of paint. And I couldn't achieve that. I didn't know how. I didn't realize that, you know, you had to just take this huge layer and chunk of paint and just lay it on here. And she made this one little tree, like a little tree like this big. She made one little tree, and it was just made like with this really thick layers of paint. And she didn't speak English, but I feel like she was reading my mind. I feel like she was interpreting what I was painting. She knew what I was going for. She knew who the figure in that painting was. She couldn't communicate in English, but she like made this painting, and she was like showing me, hey, this is how you do it, dude. Like, I like, this is a visual language. This is how you do it. I don't know how to explain it to you in English, but just look at how I do it. And I think she was incredibly brilliant of an artist. Maybe she wasn't reading my mind and I was reading too far into it, but yeah, young artists can be very smart. And you know, that's when I learned the amazingness of art as a visual medium. Like, it's really hard to communicate without communicate art with like just words. Like, if you ever meet an artist and they're not good with their words, it's okay. You know, you gotta, sometimes that's just how people communicate. They communicate with images, with visuals, with their hands, kinesthetic, you know. And I find that such an interesting idea, that somehow this girl interpreted my painting, knew what I was going for, and taught me a lesson in how to paint in the style of impasto, impressionist of Vincent van Gogh. Like, I swear, I don't know, I swear she was giving me a lesson on how to paint. And of course the parent was very excited that I let their niece paint. It was a very fun situation to have that. I actually kept it in the painting. I've had other kids, like, you know, they'll walk by while I'm painting outdoors, and other kids will like kind of just like take this weird color and put it in a random spot, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever, you know. But sometimes I'll leave it in, but other times I'll actually just like paint over it or figure it out. You know, sometimes it's like a fun challenge to figure out how to include their idea in my painting, but then other times, you know, I actually just figure out a way to blend it in or paint it out. And but yeah, that one kid taught me a lot about impasto painting, because maybe even to this day I might still never have really figured out Probably not. I probably would have figured it out, but when I saw her leave those marks on that tree, yeah, very, very powerful experience. And very powerful experience that was. You can learn so much from just a couple strokes of the brush, a couple marks. You'd say so much, yet so little, but again, actually not so little. You could say so much. And I don't actually know if she was communicating what I was what I think she was, but my goodness, I learned so. Kat, are you annoyed at me?
No, but you're so loud, and I have a headache.
Oh.
I'm trying to black out the
You
sound.
keep puffing at me.
Do I? Well, I'm not. Just trying to clear my head. There's no place to go.
Alright, well, you keep puffing at me.
I didn't mean to puff at you, and I didn't even know I was doing it.
Alright. Well, yes, I do talk very loudly. But you're not mad, so.
I'm not mad.
Okay.
I'm freaking mad.
Alright.
I have the right to take over the space.
Right, but I'm. You don't have to huff at me.
Like I said, I wasn't
Okay, alright.
paying attention.
Alright. Anyway, yes, I am a very loud storyteller. And I guess my voice does boom and echo throughout the world. So this is actually quite fun. I feel like I'm carving out this painting. I feel like, this painting, if this painting just had this huge thing of paint on it, and I'm just like shaping it to my will. This is a cohesive color I'm going for. So here we go. Keeping up with this design. I think we go for 2 hours, 13 minutes. I think once I'm done with this yellow area, which I still have quite a few more spaces. These are all the spaces here are some of the more challenging spaces that I have to work with because they're tighter. Let's go like this, grab more of this yellow. I'm gonna take a huge chunk of this yellow like we've been doing, and I'm gonna put it right over here. Let's lay down some of this yellow. I heard of this, I was listening to an audiobook about Vincent van Gogh, and it was describing how he painted. And that's what's inspiring what I'm doing right now. It was describing what he painted, and it would say that he would carve and mold and shape. He would layer on these huge globs of paint and mold and shape, and I'm seeing why. I'm experimenting with why. And I think you have two choices when you do this style. This way of painting is you have two choices. Either you keep going back and forth for different colors on the brush, and depending on how clean your palette is, that can create a mess, or that can create it can create a mess because you're constantly getting new colors on your brush. But you have the two ways. Either you do it this way, which gives you an opportunity to just mold the paint that's on the canvas as it is, or you do it the other way. You keep going back and forth onto the canvas or onto your brush. What am I saying? Onto the palette. You go back and forth onto your palette, or you do it this way when you can still create a similar effect, but this way is obviously much more. You get denser levels of paint but you also have to like be comfortable working with the paint. And it's a bit messy, but still, this is like a fun way because you're like carving out the paint rather than laying on the paint. And the only problem is you get these like huge globs, and it can be a little, it can start to get kind of flat, which I'm seeing it feels a little flat to me. So I think what I need to do is I need to grab some of our yellow here and kind of mix in some of our Azo deep yellow. Derek James, if you could say it in words, there would be no reason to paint. Derek James, constantly popping in with these amazing quotes. Dude, if you could say it in words, there would be no reason to paint. I like that. I love these quotes, Derek James. You should be a writer of poetry and quotations. But here's the funny thing, though, just to share a little bit of ironic humor, is that you're sharing all these words about painting and art, and this quote right here, I love it because it's got a little bit of, I mean, maybe you didn't mean it this way, but it does have a bit of irony here, because you're saying if you could say it in words, there would be no reason to paint, but you're saying that in words rather than with paint. So, you know, I guess I want to challenge you here, from one artist to another artist, is how would you communicate if I could say it in words, there would be no reason to paint? How would you communicate that with paint? Actually, I don't know. I was trying to be like connect on a deeper level there, but I don't think it turned out the way I expected, because obviously the words are very self-explanatory, and maybe it's not something that you need to communicate with paint, because you can communicate it with words. So, you know what? Scratch what I just said. You don't have a challenge here, unless you want to. Boom. Boom, boom. This turtle is definitely standing out. I want this turtle to just pop in here. So like, let's grab some of this color here and lay it down right there. And here we go. We're gonna bring some of these darker colors into here. Pop some of this color into here, to there, into there, into here. Oh my goodness. Whew, this is actually pretty fun. Having a great time. Isn't that what we all want out of artwork, is to have a great time? This way of impasto painting is pretty exciting. I like it a lot. And if only I could find, I want to continue it. Some green in here, like for a little bit of adaptation of color there. Let's grab some more of this yellow, and we're going to mix it with the Azo deep yellow, and let's get something different. Let's go like We'll bring in some more of our yellow. And we're gonna pop that in there. I'm gonna use my left hand too. Get my left hand into this action here.
Stay at home.
All right, so we're going on with this. And let's see how we can keep pushing this. So what am I doing right now? Continuing on. I don't know if y'all were here earlier for this explanation, but this is a style called impasto. And basically what impasto means is using thick layers of paint. So like you load your brush up with a lot of paint. Like you load your brush up, like just load it up. Look at all this paint that's on here. Load it up, and then you layer it on in this fashion, and it's almost like paint sculpting. I don't know if any of you I think I came up with the term paint sculpting. I swear I did, but it's probably been used before. But paint sculpting would be taking a huge thing of paint, I think, and then just like molding it. Whereas impasto, you're using huge, thick layers of paint to create a texture. And if you were to get really close to this, it's a little hard to see from there, but if you were to get much closer to this, you would really be able to see all the different thicknesses, the widths of how this paint is interacting with the canvas. And where I think that's most powerful, where I think this is most powerful, what's up, Harris, Elliott, and Lovely? I have y'all on mute because I'm streaming on YouTube and I got to chat with my YouTube channel. But thanks for inviting me to your game. So here we are, and so impasto, basically taking a massive hunk of paint onto your brush and just layering it on however you like. So I'm doing it a specific way, but you do it however you want. But more importantly, where you can really see the difference between this style and other styles is when you get up close. Because when you get up close, you can actually see some of the marks and the interaction between the marks and the light is really powerful. Because when you have the depth and the width of the paints, when you start to see the thickness, the light starts to reflect off this in a very unique way. And because of that, there's a effect that you can't really capture with a really flat painting. You really need to work with thick, juicy layers, as I like to call it. Thick, juicy layers. Or thick, juicy impasto. And here we go. So I just want to put down some of the darker colors just to add a little bit of interest, create something a little bit of interest. Plus I've had this paint sitting around for a couple of days and I haven't used it. I don't really want to waste my dark paint. So I've decided to just add some of that in here. But let's add a little down here. And then I just want to use this to cover up some of the white spots that I still have. So at the same time, adding a variety of color. adding some more interesting design here. Maybe one's in the center right there. This needs a little bit more dimension here, so we're gonna go boom and boom and right along the leg, right there. Let's keep going. Come around with a curve right there. Let's add a little bit right there. Bam. Oh yeah, I should curve some of this area here. I want to curve some of this space around a little bit. Because right now it's like just like up and down. But I think there will be a way that I can basically carve this space around. That's one great thing about oil paints is oil paints take a long time to dry. I feel like if I was painting with acrylic, I feel like a lot of this would be too dry and I wouldn't be able to work with it as much right now. But fortunately, I have the opportunity to paint with oil, and you create quite a lot of effect here. So let's do some with this turtle. It's a little bit, let's go bam, bam, bam. And then here we go. Give a little bit more color to this turtle here. Paint around the body. And did we miss anything? No. I feel like at this point I'm just going over this and just making sure that I didn't miss any white spots. I like to, one thing about my painting is whenever I see a white spot, it kind of bothers me, even though it might not be that serious of a, might not be have that much of an impact on what I'm working on, but yeah, here we go. Expression, people, expression. Expression, 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 expression. Every mark I'm making is an expression. It's a piece of my personal intuition, my personal thought of where the mark should go. I think this is one of the most interesting things an artist can give to an audience is that piece of self, you know, that piece of yourself that you know, anybody can basically copy and be like, hey, okay, well, he put a mark here and a mark there, but you know, no one can copy the exact moment that it was made and the mindset and the thoughts that were going on in my head, you know. So I think that's one of the greatest things that an artist can do to separate themselves is to do work where you're allowed to be, you know, allowed to put a piece of your own intuition or yourself into, you know, instead of just creating a story or a picture or whatever. I mean, obviously that's all important, but at the same time, leaving a fingerprint or something. Maybe not exactly a fingerprint, but something, you know? So, oh, hey, we won. I don't know if we won, but we won. So here we go. I can now receive guest requests. That's cool. Ligon, welcome. The baddest is here. Got the turtle there. Now what we will do at some point is tighten up this leg. And here we go. Bring this down. I want to keep doing this, but I don't think I need to anymore. I think I'm done. So I just want to layer one last glob of paint. Let me do it right. Where does it need to happen? Right there. There needs to be a big glob there. Big glob. Let's just try to get all this glob off and just bam, bam. And then get a big glob off right there and paint it down. Paint it down. Big glob, take that off right there and bam, bam. All right. So that was a lot of fun. I didn't, this is really like one of the first times that I've tried to do it in this way, in this fashion. And I enjoyed it. So let's see, Ivan the doggo. What's going on, Ivan? What's the temperature where you're living at? How hot is it? It is 95 degrees here, maybe low 90s right now. It is 90 something degrees here in Los Angeles. Now that I've got these legs, I'm thinking, you know, should I keep working on them, or should I? 80 degrees, that's pretty cool. It's nice and cool where you live. That's nice, huh? And let's go. Let's see what we will do here. You know what? This leg needs to. This is good. That's good. How do y'all feel about the colors? Do y'all like these? Does it feel kind of like psychedelic in a way? I think this is kind of psychedelic, no? Let's turn it like sideways and see how this ends up looking. Sideways. That's kind of funky, huh? Just like a lot of legs and body parts just kind of flowing around. Wow. I'm actually very, very happy with how this has turned out so far. And spelled it right. Reminds you of Van Gogh. Van Gogh. So let's go. Now let's keep this up. We're gonna go. Try to fix this brush right here. I have so much yellow paint left over. My goodness, it's so much. But it's not in the tube, so that means I gotta paint with a lot of yellow in the next day or two, or else it's going to be a total waste of paint. But yeah, you spelled it almost right. You're missing a G, but you know you almost got it, and that's what's important. Almost. Some people like to say almost doesn't cut it, but you know what? In the real world, almost does cut it. Maybe not in the military, maybe not in basketball, maybe not in in golf or any elite sport, but I think in the real world the majority of almost does cut it. So anyway, little bit of motivation for everybody. Whether that's true or not, I think is pretty arguable, but at least so Babylon Ayan I Selassie I Exi Das Ja movement of Ja people Rastafarian wizard. Something of the movement of the people, Rastafarian wizard. Okay. I'm not quite following along there. I don't know exactly what you were trying to say, but I will go with it. Because why not? So here we go. We're going to create an edge here. Let's go with an edge. And this is going to come down like so. And then we're going to bring this edge down here. Maybe the green thing up in the corner. What's the green thing in the corner? The turtle? What do you feel? What do you feel about the turtle? What is your emotion telling you to say? And here, so this is going to come around and we're going to get a nice little move the green thing up in the corner. Okay, so we're going to go I think what I need to work on here is some subtle transitions. Clean off this brush. I want to tighten up the feet now. I think this is a good brush to use to tighten up the feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back in with this light color that we had, this white pink. I'm going to create this. I'm going to start to tighten up the shapes better. Let's actually use a little bit more white for this. And give it a really light toe right there. Light toe to create that shape, and then another light shape right there for the other toe. And then I'm going to start to separate the leg here. So use this light space to separate this leg. And let's go like this. So we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go right here. And this is gonna help to create a difference in the shadow area. We're really only gonna notice it after we've really started to tighten up the shadows and stuff, but for now we can actually see a little bit of the transition, which becomes very helpful. And let's see, so here we go. Bringing down this area right here. And there we go. So what we're doing right now is just carving out the lights, so the light areas. So this will help to formulate this foot and establish the overall shape of this foot better. And I think this back foot's a little big, but that's okay. We've discovered Bigfoot. No one ever got in trouble for discovering Bigfoot. So some of these details are much subtler. You can't really notice it from where you're seeing on a camera. But that's one thing about oil paints is, you just keep building and building until eventually you get the painting just right. So right here, going into the knee here, and we're gonna create the light part of this knee. And this light part of the knee needs to go around, like right there. And just imagine that the light is kind of hitting it from the top. And that's how it formulates. And then we're going to go into here. And just keep working this space until we get it, And this is how you start to create the shape and everything, as you simply just add white or add what you think the shadow area should be colored. And just as you do that, it all just comes together like magic. So we're going to add this light space right here. And here we go, building down this leg here. I want to add the highlights, so that's what we're still working on, is just highlighted parts of this leg and ankle. And here we go. Keep building this in. And build this up along the shin here. Basically create a nice set of lighting around the shin. And this transition needs to be a better. Shouldn't be as hard of a transition as what I wanted to get at. And there's a little bit of a shadow or light area back here that kind of makes itself apparent. It's like a little reflection here. So I'm going to capture that reflection. And here we go. So go around the leg like so. And bring this down. This right here. And there we go. So we're going to come down like this. And all right, so let's do some of this toe. All right, what's going on, Delision and Q? I have my TikTok on mute because I'm streaming on YouTube too, and it becomes confusing, the sounds. So if you want to do a match, I won't be able to chat with y'all, but I will keep working on this painting. So, okay. Anyway. What we got right here, we're going to work on his toe. And this toe is going to come around. I'm going to create this form, the shadow right around here. And bring this light area up. Right there. And then this toe is going to have like a shadow. Let's go bring this toe. Bring this toe in. And then need some more shadow at some point, but for now, I am going to leave it like this. And just start to carve these out. When I say carve, I mean just like carve, like, you know, bit by bit, these toes are going to make themselves appear. And that's as simple as just slowly building up the color. You don't even have to do it slowly, but, you know, some people can do it really quickly. Like, you know, they know exactly what color to lay down and where, and they just lay it down, and somehow they magically, like magic, they create a structure. But, you know, that's not everyone works that way, I guess. So mine takes a bit more time. Usually, knowing exactly where you're going to lay down every color is an efficiency thing. Like, you know, if you get commissions and you have like a bunch of commissions you got to work on. But as you can see, how this can quickly start to create the form and the shape of not just the toes, but like everything, right? So just by adding these light sections and combining them, you can start to see how all of this comes together. And let's add a little bit of a highlight right under here. We're going to do a highlight right there. Let's do a highlight right there. And let's go around. All right, I guess we got to accept the match, right? Always got to accept the match. So there we go. And let's bring back this bright pink, and then we're gonna work on this foot. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on this one, and this is a matter of shaping this piece. So So there definitely needs to be a line, nice elegant line right here. Show that this is a leg. The farm Fat Muppet, what's going on? How are you doing, Fat Muppet? Good old shout out to the Fat Muppet. So here we go. All right, let's decide where this needs to be. This needs to be right above the calf. So we're going to create a nice hard line right here, right above the calf. Actually going to come around the calf. And we're going to come around the calf like so. Let's go like this. There we go. And a little bit of a light space right here. And let's go, we're gonna go blend these pieces in a little bit. I think this shadow here is a bit too harsh. This isn't really the best like brush for blending, but it's really good at least for getting the right colors down in specific areas. And here we go. Okay, so I can see what happened. This got carved in a little bit with my impasto, but that's all right. We're gonna use this color and start to shape and create this curve right here, because as you could tell, you want to try to keep the lighting consistent. So if the lighting's like, you know, coming from up there, you want to make it look like the lighting's coming from up there so that it's reflecting on a surface in an appropriate way. And I'm just using white here to create this. And this looks kind of funky right here. We'll have to fix that. We definitely have to fix that. But I can already see, like, you know, these kind of merge together, which isn't good. Yeah, they kind of merge together. But anyway, let's go here. And we're going to go down into this ankle. So let's add some highlight to this ankle right here. This lighter area is going to come around, and it's going to bring right into this ankle that becomes nice and bright. And there we go. So we're going to come down right here. And there we go. So you bring it down like that, and you can really start to see how this all comes together as far as all the lighting and stuff goes. So you start to create these lights and shadows, and you start to separate them. It all starts to come together really just like magic. It's pretty amazing. Just like magic. Artists are like magicians. That's right. I said that. So anyway, let's go right here. I'm gonna create a zone of transition with these colors right here. And with this blending, you could start to see how the foot really comes together. Now, this foot, I think I made a little too, needs to be a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna bring this transition color down. And we're gonna bring this up. And then we need like a toe right here. So we need like a toe right there. Little toe. And we do need a shadow at some point, but we'll fix that as we go. And this is looking great. I'm happy where this is at right now. So obviously the biggest challenge we got going, just want to work into some of the toes a bit. We're going to work into some of the toes. And let's see, how do we do this? Right. Oh yeah, well, I'm working these toes, so I don't need to be over here. All right, let's see. How do we? Let's add some of this over top of here. Square this out a little bit, flatten it out. And here we go. That's the thing about me is I will work and rework an area so it gets right. Whereas I think some artists will just paint exactly what they need to paint on the first try. So for me, I take a little bit more time out of necessity. And let's see this one. I'm going to clean off this brush here. Actually, I'm going to leave some of these. I'm going to leave a remnant right there. So we're just going to leave this remnant. You know, usually what you probably want to do is you want to blend it. I'm going to blend it really nice, but that's not. I like to keep this like, I like to leave the remnants of a brush mark around. But take a little breather right now before we get into the continuation of this. So what I did, I mean, I have a lot of steps that are hard to explain. So these are a lot of steps, more steps than is standard. But basically, you start off with the sketch. And you start off with a sketch. Maybe you don't have to do the sketch, but that's pretty standard. It's just starting off with a sketch. And John Singer Sargent, worth looking up. John Singer Sargent typically started his painting with mid colors. So he, instead of like a dark red or a light red, he might have started with like a medium red. And that helps to start the shadows. And then he would build the super dark shadows and then the lights into it. So I did something different. I usually start with like the really dark areas, and then I build the light areas, and then I kind of like figure out what's in between. But because John Singer Sargent is such an amazing artist, one of the greatest artists who ever lived, and I am Emmett Ferguson, I need some extra steps, which means I continue to work on this piece on various areas. But at least you know the theory, you know the idea of how oil paintings can be built. So the reason why I even mentioned John Singer Sargent is just to talk about his process. But you know, my process is way different because he probably have a fully fleshed out, beautiful, wonderfully rendered painting by now. Whereas me, I have the darks, I have the lights, I have the shadows and the mid colors, but they're in a variety of different places, and it's up to me now to start to tighten it all up. And also even this painting style, it's not as loose as I like to be. You know, I think John Singer Sargent would paint totally alla prima, which is wet on wet. So basically he would take, maybe not all his paintings this way, but he would take his entire painting would be wet and he would just be painting in as we go. But for me, I decided to do it as a sketch. First, I decided to do it the regular way of sketching, painting it in, painting the shadows, the darks. whereas he might have just been super loose and like, you know, for a portrait or something. But this is just a different style. I've done it that way before, but for this specific piece, I want to focus on applying shadows and things like that. So anyway, let's take this red here and let's go into this brown. And let's use this for our shadow, shall we? Let's do a shadow. And we're going to go right here. We're going to start our shadow at the top of the toe here. Well, maybe. Let's flatten out this brush. This brush is a little too... There we go. I'm going to paint the top of a toe right here. The top of the toe can be a challenge because it rarely ever looks like what you see as the top of the toe. Like everybody sees the top of their toe, and basically, you know, we all know what the top of our toe looks like, the toenail, but very few people actually see top of the toe from other angles. So that actually makes it a little bit more complicated when you're painting the top of the toe, because you have this sense of what the top of the toe should look like, even though that's not what it's really going to look like. So just a thought there, but get this triangle right here. And let's see, this goes back. And here we go, we're going to bring down this area. And this is going to help us to create the shadow with the top of the toe. There we go. And then let's go like this. And here we go. So yes. And as you can see, even from a distance, like really up close, you can't really tell, but from a distance, you can start to see how these shadows can help to form the foot. It's one of those things where, like, you know, I'm looking at it up close, so I'm being very judgmental of it, but when you're from a distance, you can, you know, it really helps to step back. That's why it's really important for artists to, like, step back, but you know, just these miniature shadows, you really create this dramatic effect that is much harder to see up close. So let's see, we're going to go around here, and one thing I need to do is I need to tighten up this space right here. So we're going to use a blood red paint right here for our shadow. And it's going to curve around the front of this calf right there. Curve around the front of the calf. It's going to come down and right around there. This edge is a little hard, but we'll fix that in a little bit later. And there we go, we have that piece. Let's go into here. Go with our reds. And then let's bring this in. So here we go. We're going to carve out this area right here. And let's go right here. I'm going to try to keep a steady hand here. I got to use two hands to keep a steady hand. We just got to create this little curve right here around the top, the front of the knee. And you can basically see how it just starts to you can basically just start to see how, like, you know, shapes take form just by adding in like the darker spaces or the really prominent spaces, whatever you want to call them. Now up close there's a little too much outline, but you know, this is the beginning of a good thing. I might have a few more hours. I have at least a few more hours of this piece. But here we go. At least a few more hours of this piece. And we're going to go down right here. This is going to come down a little further, like straight down. Come around and go like this. And we're going to take some of the stuff up here. Let's do some of the stuff up here. Let's grab some more of this dark red, brown. And we're going to carve into this area. So it's going to go about 3/4 of the way down. So here we go. Got that. And just a little bit further from that, we got this. Now I'm just slowly figuring out how to draw this area because it's quite complicated. They ripped off the part of the body that's supposed to be here, so I don't know whether that's for to prevent whatever, but you know, it's gonna look a little funny. We'll have to work with this later. But here we go. Building in our color zones. Let's create a nice shadow around here. And go really dark around the leg. Okay. And let's go. I'm going to create the tip of the toe right here. One, two, three. Last one will come a little bit darker than the others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So the winning host may propose something. I didn't propose anything. I'm just assuming that I won. So here we go. Assuming that I won on the TikTok game that we just played with some random person. So here we go. Carving at this area. Let's go down. Reestablish the shadow space here. bring back our shadow. And you know what? I'm starting to feel like I'm reaching a point of unproductive painting. In a sense that some of what I'm doing is becoming less productive because I feel like I'm not exactly getting some things. So I may take a break here soon. We may end this stream in a few here, but I'm gonna keep pushing and going and just see where I can continue to adjust and modify some of this. But I think right now, you know, what's important for me to do is to capture just the subtler shadows here. There we go. This is a nice transition. That's a nice transition. And this transition needs to be right above the ankle. Right above the knee. Got a nice transition here now. Sharpen this up a little bit maybe. And this, paint this down. And I'm trying to see what y'all see. I really like, oh yeah, I should do this foot. I should do this foot right here. Get right into the, I feel like once I carve out some of the shadows into this foot, I should be good to take a break. But let's see. Alright, we're going to need to go down here, bring this toe forward. So this toe is pretty much a really strong angle right there. And here. It's not what you paint, it's how you paint it. One thing I gotta do is I gotta round out this toe here, this toe shadow. Gotta dip into our dark shadow paint again, and we will carve out this toenail. This is a weirdly carved toenail. But because it came from a classic drawing book, no one is gonna make fun of it. But it is a really weird toenail when you really look at it. So let's go like this. That shadow on the toe needs to come to a point right there, and then we're going to get another shadow on our toes here. So our toe is going to start like right back here with our shadow, and let's see, so we're going to go down. Here we go. So let's go like that. And there's another toenail that comes around. And then the front. And let's get another toe. This needs to be a more distinct shadow, right around that way, I think. And then it's going to come forward. And bring the shadow forward here, around the top, get another nice round shadow. Nice round shadow. Another nice round shadow right here. And this one also needs to come forward and get the shadow. So we're going to come around, bring this toenail down. The other toenail's got to come down. It still looks a bit wonky, but we'll modify that eventually. This is almost time for a little break here. And let's go. Bring this around. And this just helps to create some more dramatic lighting effects. But for now, we're going to take a break from this. Actually, you know what? I want to lay down the rest of this red. Lay down the rest of this red shadow here. One thing I feel like I've lost as far as working with oil versus oil pastel is this concept of dramatic shadow. I feel like as I paint, like when I use oil pastel, I could get a very dramatic shadow, and it becomes very easy to do so. But when I use oil pastel, I can create a very dramatic shadow. But when I use paint, I feel like I lose that a little bit. So that's something I should work on. Just as a side note. And here we go. So and looking better by better, bit by bit. Let's go right here. This needs to be a little bit darker here. And then this probably needs to be a bit longer. And something about this piece right here. Let's go. So right now, blending out some of the harder edges, or softening them a little bit, I should say, not blending them out. Just helps to create more form. And with that, we'll come back to this another day. Let me see if there's any more place I could add the shadow down. Just because I have it, but just because you have it doesn't mean you should use it. Right? But let me see. Got the shadow. See right down here. All right, got a little bit. Can add it up top here. Let's go ahead and clean this all up, and we will come back to this probably tomorrow. But it's been about, it's already been 3.5 hours working on this project. My goodness. All right, time flies, everybody. So I hope that was helpful, but as we wrap this up, I had this interesting quote that came up the other day. It was something along the lines of those things that you believe somebody else made up. And what that quote is about is this idea of limiting beliefs. You know, what beliefs are limiting you? Maybe you feel like that the neighborhood that you grow up in or the city that you live in doesn't have enough of a art scene or a sports scene, or maybe, you know, you want to be a professional gamer and you feel like gaming's too out of reach because there's so many other great gamers out there, or like whatever your limiting beliefs are. These are just some examples because I've got a lot of people who view me from YouTube, and you know, imagine a lot of people on YouTube probably want to become professional gamers or artists or whatever, content creators. But at the end of the day, you know, I think it's a real true thing that limiting beliefs, or any belief that when you want to do something, that you stop yourself from doing it because of some idea or concept. And I think it's important to really tackle those, to when you hear them, when they come up on your mind, to think about it and wonder if it's helping you or whether it's stopping you from something that you want to do. Now, obviously, right, limiting beliefs can be helpful. Like, you don't want to believe that you can fly and then try to like fly off from somewhere. But I think for the most part, they in modern society, they hurt more than they help us in our lives. But we're wrapping up right now, and we'll probably be back tomorrow to work on this. I don't know if I'll be finished with this tomorrow. Might even add more stuff, but I like where it's at. So let's keep this, and let's work some more tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hey, all right, let's go.